just a robot.
Oh golly gee willikers, Jar, another video on Tmossboss? Haven't you beaten this dead horse enough? It's a bloody paste at this point.
Well, this is indeed the final video on Tmossboss, and I planned for this to be the last video on Tmossboss ever since he made his first response to me. And I'll explain what I mean by that at the end of this video. So last time I made an offer to Tmossboss. If he wanted to do one more video on me and get the last word in, then he can go for it. And I would not make a response or talk about him anymore. But if he made 2 videos about me, then the deal was off. Well, in less than a week, he made a trilogy on me and my fan base, calling us racist. In the first video of Tmossboss's little trilogy, he shows one comment of someone calling him a monkey. Now this person claims to not be a fan of mine, and I've never seen him in my comments section before. I even checked my comments history. But Tmossboss still used him as an example to say that my entire fan base is racist. Now I've constantly joked about how so many reactors are, well, black. But I was surprised that none of them really ever played the race card. I think CJ So Cool has done it a few times, but out of all of the big reactors, he was always the angriest one. I always thought that one day a reactor would play the race card against me, but they never did, and I was beginning to give up all hope of them ever doing it. But now at long last, Tmossboss has used the race card against me. But he still has to lie about me in order to do it.
I've received a lot of racist comments from these guys, from different social media platforms. And yeah, I mean, coming from the, that community or that fan base, coming from the person that they idolize, where back 3 years ago, all he was just doing was attacking black reactors, it makes sense. It all makes sense now.
Tmossboss has lied about me on a few occasions, saying I talk about nothing but reactors, or at least mostly reactors. But you just have to skim through my channel to find I talk about way more than just reactors. And I don't just talk about black reactors, I have talked about a white one before, who I refer to as the rare albino reactor. And I have talked about the whole Fine Bros situation. Remember when they tried to trademark the word react? Yeah, everybody was making a video about that. Now Tmossboss says that in his second video, he's going to show a bunch of racist comments that my fans have made towards him.
I'm just going to pretty much find all the racist comments that these guys have sent me in the past 3 years. I found some of them, but I think there's more. Because, I mean, it was just like, I think the ones that I found was just from this year.
And in his second video, he does show a bunch of comments. He doesn't talk in this video, he just shows the comments on screen. And a lot of these guys I've never seen before in my own comment section. In fact, I only recognize one of them. So I'm pretty sure these racist comments are mostly from Minnesota Boys fan base and not from my fan base.
It was about me, but even like any jokes or anything that's cracked about me, like I laugh about it. Even like racist jokes. I remember when that whole crap with Minnesota Boy happened, people was calling me some crazy racist names. I laughed about it.
But still, because I recognize one person, I'm just going to say this. Please don't say anything racist towards Tmossboss. You have plenty of material to work with. You don't have to focus on his race. And all it does is give him more ammo to fire back with. Now let's move on to the third part of Tmossboss's little trilogy.
So, first thing I would like to talk about is this situation regarding Joshua. Now, if you go back and watch it, I talked about how he was acting and how he was singing. Not once in that whole video did I mention anything about his mom. I think if I did, it was that he was screaming in the backseat of her car, which is something I had already said before in previous videos. So, yeah, please, somebody show me in that video roasting haters for 20 minutes or however long I said it was, please somebody show me when did I talk about his mom.
Well, Tmossboss, I never claimed in that video you insulted Joshua's dead mother. But in my last video on you, Tmossboss is evil, you said this.
No emotions to that whatsoever. Plus, it's like when he even uploaded his response video to that, he didn't even seem like he was all serious and upset. And it's just like the fact that right after that, like me, if I lost my mom, it's like you guys probably wouldn't see me for a while. This guy goes right back onto YouTube and still brings up my name. So it's like it has me thinking, it has me wondering, is my name more important than this own dude's mom?
That clip was from These Parents Failed These Kids rant, not from the Roasting My Haters video or any other video. Stop trying to change which video I was talking about. And in this clip, Tmossboss is straight up lying. For those of you who haven't seen the video Tmossboss is Evil, Joshua made a video saying he was done talking about Tmossboss. But then Tmossboss made a roast video on Joshua, who was singing a song to his mother who passed away. The fact that Tmossboss would cover this video out of all of Joshua's videos was quite suspicious. Needless to say, this made Joshua and many others very angry with Tmossboss. Now, I was willing to give Tmossboss the benefit of the doubt. I was hoping he would say, sorry, my bad, or at least something like that. But instead he lies and says, Joshua just kept on talking about me. Hating on me is more important to him than his own mother. What the hell? But in case I didn't make this clear before, Joshua was done talking about him. Joshua didn't go right back to talking about Tmossboss. The video he made on Tmossboss, after he said he was done talking about him, was the video where Tmossboss was making fun of him, singing a tribute song to his mother. If you want more info about this, check out my video, Tmossboss is Evil. But the fact that Tmossboss is still making excuses about this baffles me. Instead of owning up to his pretty blatant mistake, he's saying, I didn't talk about him in this video, why are you guys hating on me? Because we're not talking about that video, sweetheart. We're talking about a different video where you said it. Stop making excuses.
I refuse. I refuse for people to lie on my name and to make it seem like that, oh, I'm just this cold, heartless person and things, just out here making fun of people that passed away.
Tmossboss, the only one lying on your name is you. I didn't lie about you. I showed clips of you doing it. It came from your mouth, not mine. Now, Tmossboss goes on to talk about the whole suicidal girl situation. I'm not going to talk about it right now because I'm going to talk about it later on in the video and I don't want to repeat myself.
That just the robot fans, that whole community, you can't talk with them. You can't reason with them.
Tmossboss, so many of my fans have tried to reach out to you and tried to reason with you. Stop lying about them.
The kid called me a monkey, then tried saying that it's not racist. And then me, getting him caught up, like, hey, go over to Harlem and try, like, because he's in New York. I was like, bro, go over to Harlem and go over there with that same attitude, calling people a monkey and then try convincing them that it's a joke. See how that turns out for you. And, yeah. He eventually blocked me. He eventually blocked me and stuff, and so I was just like, yeah, that's exactly what I thought.
I love how he's laughing about someone blocking him. Tmossboss, you have blocked me and my fans multiple times. I gotta say, your hypocrisy is showing. But I never understood this line of thinking. Oh, it's racist because if you told a bunch of black people that in real life, they would beat the crap out of you. But even then, black people are, well, people. Some will react violently and some will not.
If you're white, you say the N-word, E-R-A, whatever it ends in, you go up to another, if you're white and you go up to a black person and say the N-word, regardless of how it ends, how do you think they're going to feel about that?
So it's only racist when white people do it. If an Asian or a Latino did it, it wouldn't be racist. Gotcha. Also, how do I think a black guy would react to it? I think it depends on the black guy, to be honest.
This community, they might not know that they're racist, but they're racist.
I'm sorry. I just can't get over the way he talks.
Just a robot. What was he doing 3 years ago? What videos was he making 3 years ago? This man was doing the same thing, grade A, under A, and I hate everything what he does. But he could have changed it.
Okay, so Tmossboss has said this about me a few times. He loves to compare me to grade A, under A, and I hate everything, often saying I'm just like them. But why does he compare me to them? Well, the answer is simple. Because we all talked about reaction channels. And possibly because we also all use avatars. But that's where the similarities between us ends. I Hate Everything is mostly well known for talking about a website and why he doesn't like it. Grade A Under A is mostly well known for doing comedy skits. And I'm way more political than the other two. And I also do power scaling videos. As far as I know, I Hate Everything and Great Andere never have done power scaling videos. But you take a look at Tmossboss and pretty much every reactor I have talked about, they all use the same arguments, they all make the same type of video, they all use the same amount of editing. If I'm similar to Great Andere and I Hate Everything, then Tmossboss, you're exactly like Blasphemous HD and Jinx.
And even back then, I remember they were trying to bring that up with me, that only black people do reaction videos. And at the time, it's like over the 3 years, I've seen so many different white people do reaction videos, and I told them that.
Okay, Tmossboss doesn't show any examples of this, and he has lied about what people have said to him multiple times before. So I highly doubt anyone has told him that only black people do reaction videos. And by the off chance they have, they were probably just making a joke. But Tmossboss, most reactors are black. Blasphemous HD, Jinx, Tyrone Magnus, CJ So Cool, and so many others. Yes, there are some popular white reactors, like H3H3 and the Fine Bros. But they're the exception, not the rule.
Prove me wrong that you guys aren't racist. Prove me wrong. Because as I see it, if you guys are going to dislike this video, dislike the other video, and dislike the video after that.
God, the ego on this guy. If you want to prove you're not racist, stop disliking my videos. Forget about all the other black guys who get dislikes on their videos. It's only about my videos getting dislikes. Tmossboss, people don't dislike your videos because you're black. They dislike it because you're an idiot.
Do everything possible, alright, to still be associated with the name Tmossboss. You guys are racist.
Tmossboss, that's not racism. Stop claiming it is.
Because it could have been me, it could have been anybody else, but because I am black, then it's a problem.
Now, Tmossboss has said I played the victim card on a few occasions. He doesn't explain how I play the victim card, he just says I do. But this right here is a perfect example of how someone plays the victim card. People are only hating on me because of the color of my skin. Tmossboss, one of the most hated people on the internet, is a white guy. Well, now it's a white trans girl, by the name of Christina Weston Chandler. And I have talked about them before. I've talked about black people, white people, Asian, Latino, Native American, pretty much every single race under the sun. I don't hate on them for the color of their skin. I hate them for the stupid things they do. I don't care what your color is. Just don't be an idiot.
If you guys, if you aren't racist, prove me wrong, okay? Stop coming back to my channel every single day claiming that you're criticizing my videos, claiming that dislikes are helping, claiming your comments are helping. Quit doing that stuff.
Leave me alone!
You guys are racist, and if you don't want to be racist, do what I say, okay? Yeah, we've never heard anything like this before. Tmossboss, guilt-tripping people with the race card is so 2013.
You guys just, some of the most hypocritical, manipulative things that you guys do, it's funny.
Tmossboss, you're the most hypocritical person on the planet. And you call others manipulative right after you try to manipulate them with the race card? My God, look in a mirror.
And this is what I have to say. This is how I'm just going to prove this whole thing, alright? This video gets dislikes, I have nothing to hear from you guys. Nothing at all. If this video has more dislikes than likes, I have nothing to hear from you guys. And that's from this video, the next video, and any other video.
Tmossboss, everyone gets dislikes. Literally everyone on YouTube. And that's your proof for people being racist against you? If this video gets dislikes or the next videos get dislikes? This won't prove anything. And you'll keep talking about this situation and you know it.
Alright? But yeah, you guys gonna find some argument to say in this for this video or any other video, then yeah. Then you guys proved me right in the past 3 videos.
If you guys make an argument against me and debunk me, make me look stupid, that just means I win. Got it?
I mean, come on now. They trying to say that, oh, you don't know if those comments were all Just a Robot fans. They were underneath Just a Robot videos that I made.
Really? They were? Well, you certainly didn't prove that. You just showed the comments. not what videos they were under. And that's very easy to do. Now, he does show one video with a racist comment on it, and it's a video of his I've covered. But this is the only one he shows. This proves to me that Tmossboss does know how to show what videos the comments were under. But the fact that he only shows one out of all of them really makes me suspicious. Now we're going to move on to the whole Tmossboss ignored a suicidal girl situation. I myself have not talked about this situation really. I'm a bit iffy on the whole thing myself, but Tmossboss, whenever he talks about it, he leaves out some pretty important details.
Still, till this day, I don't know, and people are all like, she did tell you. Okay, then what was it? Like, that's overall, when they say that, when they're all like, oh, well, what was the problem? Or, like, she did tell you what her problem was. Okay, why was she feeling suicidal? Why was she feeling that way? What caused her? What led her to feeling suicidal? Suicidal didn't lead her to feeling suicidal. Like, we probably would have still been here till this day trying to figure out what her problem is.
Well, from the screenshots I've seen myself, she says that she feels like she's a burden on her family, that her father and sister wouldn't care if she did it, and that pretty much only her mother would care. It's pretty obvious to me that she's having family problems.
I don't have time to be sitting here playing, like, there's actual suicidal, like, people out there. So I'm giving my attention to them.
Yeah, and you can ignore them too.
Now a whole video then got made about this situation, so let's just solve this right now. The account's gone. So that's where I'm like, this thing just seems way too familiar. It just seems way too familiar, alright? But, yeah, like, cause in this community, for those that don't know about them, they really love to, like, create and delete accounts.
Since when was my community deleting accounts? I know people create new accounts on Twitter after you block their main Twitter, but just because they're creating a new account doesn't mean they're also deleting accounts. Now, this could be true, but considering that Tmossboss lies a lot and he's not showing any proof, I have no reason to believe him. But remember this part because it is going to be important to later.
So, I went to his followers, or I went to the people that he was following, and he's following one YouTuber that I beef with, Just a Robot, for those that know who he is, and the guy that made the video that was like that I ignored the suicidal girl. So I'm thinking in my head, like, why is he following? So I questioned him on that. I'm like, why are you following the people that I'm beefing with? Like, what's up with that? And he's like, I don't need to answer that question. From there, I just, like, that's when it clicked in my head that I was just all like, well, these people are fakes. Can't believe anything that they say.
Paranoia strikes deep.
Now, I could play the whole Tmossboss has no proof of this, because he never does. But even if that person was following me and I Bully Bullies, it doesn't matter. You said if someone was a fan of me, Just a Robot, they could come and talk to you about anything personal.
Like the fact I would sit down and if you guys was dealing with something personal, and if you are a fan of his and you are dealing with something personal, you guys can talk to me. You're a fan of me, you guys can sit down and talk with me. If you're just not even a fan, you're just a random person watching this video, you can sit down and talk with me.
This is something Tmossboss constantly does, and it's so bizarre. He asks people to do something, and if they do it or explain how they could do it, he freaks out.
Come on, take my channel down.
I don't want to take your channel down.
That's because you can't.
No, it would be really easy for me. All I would have to do is tell my fans to flag down the video where you attempted to dox me.
Oh my god, Just a Robot out of nowhere threatened to take my channel down. He's insane. I, on the other hand, am a great person. Even if you're a fan of Just a Robot, if you're feeling down or suicidal, come talk to me. I'm here to help you out because I'm a great person.
Hey, I'm kind of going through a lot in my personal life. Could I talk to you about it?
Oh my god, you're following Just a Robot? This is clearly a setup. I'm not a professional. What makes you even think you can come talk to me about your personal problems?
And contacting me and things thinking I'm going to provide that help. No. And that's why, like, now this community has ruined the chances of anybody ever contacting me asking for help, because I'm just not going to trust the situation.
You know, I really should be surprised that Tmossboss is trying to push the blame onto us for what he did. But now I've just gone numb to everything he does. But you know what? I'm glad that the trust is broken. And I'm glad that no one with suicidal problems are going to come to you for advice. You're just about the least qualified person to deal with something like that.
At this point now, I just know that if I just don't give them any material, then they can't use anything against me. They can't get any views. They can't do nothing. So...
Tmossboss, you still have hundreds of videos I can talk about. Even if you don't do anything new, I have so much material to work with.
And I'm pretty sure, because the funny thing is like, I'm pretty sure that if I made a video saying that, okay, well, I'm going to listen to what these guys have to say, I'm going to accept their criticism, I'm going to start listening to them and stuff, all this stuff, they would never bring it up again.
No, Tmossboss, at this point, several people wouldn't accept an apology from you. I would really like to see you change your ways and improve yourself, but I've given up all hope of that ever happening.
Never bring it up again. If I bow down to these people, they will never ever in their lives bring up any situation involving me.
No, Tmossboss, even if you bow down to everybody who has done a video on you, if you're still doing stupid stuff, people are going to call you out for it.
If you guys, and it's like the fact that this has been carrying on for like 3 years now, like, I hope you guys ain't gonna be like this when you got like a family, like kids, like years done passed down the road, y'all still trying to hold on to this and things. Like, bruh, like, it's sad that people carry on like this over some YouTube videos.
Wait, didn't you say you would be fighting until you're an old man, making sure this all ends? Or at least something like that?
For all this stuff gets started, just keep continue on, then yup, I'm gonna do whatever I possibly can to crack down on it. If I gotta contact YouTube on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, MySpace, if I gotta call them up on multiple different phone lines, if I gotta do everything possible, alright, to have this crap stop, I would be an old man making sure that it all ends. Okay, that it all ends. Because I'm tired of it, man. I'm seriously tired of it. Alright, if I want to be able to be the YouTuber that I need to be in things, you know, be able to be like the next David Dobrik, buying my friends' cars, buying my like family members' cars, buying, you know, doing things for them, then I'm like, I gotta defend my name. I gotta defend my reputation. I'm not just gonna allow people to just run my name into the dirt.
Tmossboss, that doesn't even make any sense. You can be very infamous and still make lots of money. But this is the whole reason why Tmossboss is doing YouTube. It's so he can get rich. Now, he says he's going to spend that money on his friends and family, but we all know he's going to keep most of it for himself.
I didn't even know who dude was until he made his video about me, and I know people gonna be all like, oh, you started all of this. No, I did not. No, I did not. You could go back to any video before defending reactors. There is not one video that I had mentioned his name or anything. So for those saying that I started this, no, I did not. He started this.
Okay, I'm like 90% sure Tmossboss is making this up, but on the small chance that he isn't, I just want to say, I made the first video on Tmossboss. However, in my first video on Tmossboss, he said that despite Jinx doing a video on Jack first, Jack shouldn't have responded to Jinx because Jack had a higher sub count than Jinx.
Jack's films, 2 million subscribers. Jinx, 1 million subscribers.
Oh my god, you're not gonna do what I think you're gonna do.
So Jinx, he's somewhat up there, alright? So let me get this straight. You're getting mad at a person, alright? Yes, he might have a big channel, but it's a smaller channel than yours.
And I had a way smaller sub count than Tmossboss when I made my first video on him. But as I have established in every video I've done on Tmossboss, he's the biggest hypocrite ever.
Now I'll just keep on saying that for the rest of my life. In this whole situation, I did not do anything wrong. from the Defending Reactors videos to anything else that has happened. I say the one thing that I did do wrong was the video and Joshua and stuff. That was about it. Okay, that was one thing, and I was like, and I think I did apologize for that, but only to Joshua. So yeah, if I didn't, then Joshua, I apologize for that stuff that I said about your tribute video and stuff.
Hang on a second, guys. I'll be back in a second. I think there's something wrong with my hearing receptors. I'm just going to tighten the screws on them. I'll be back in a second. Okay. What was that, Tmossboss? I hate it when my phone goes off during recording. Hey, Mephistopheles, what's up? Wait, what? Slow down. What are you saying? What do you mean hell froze over? Okay. I'll come down there later. I'm just working on a video right now. As soon as I get it done, I'll get down there, alright? Cool. Okay, I'm back. Now, what was that, Tmossboss?
Okay, that was one thing, and I was like, and I think I did apologize for that, but only to Joshua. So yeah, if I didn't, then Joshua, I apologize for that stuff that I said about your tribute video and stuff.
Oh my god, he apologized? I know I'd given up all hope in him, but I'm starting to gain it back. Maybe there is a chance for him to change. Now, it's not a very good apology, and as far as I know, Tmossboss has not apologized until now. But hey, it made Joshua feel better, and that's all that matters to me.
If I'm feeling like sad, depressed, I'm not gonna go to my favorite YouTubers. Like, I'm not gonna go to KSI, or I'm not gonna go to who else? Freaking, or one of my favorite rappers, like Ski Master Slum Guy. I'm not gonna keep tweeting them or commenting to them that, hey, I'm feeling like, no, I'm gonna seek out some help.
Tmossboss, they didn't make the offer to people to ask them for help. You did. That's the major difference. Okay, so those are all the videos of Tmossboss's I'm going to cover. Now, there were a few more videos of his I wanted to cover, but unfortunately he deleted them. But now I want to talk about two of Tmossboss's fans. And yes, he does have fans. Very few, and once you see them, you'll think to yourself, man, with fans like these, who needs enemies? The first guy, who I like to call Tmossboss's biggest fan, has already been covered by Joshua Montag and Smash Pictures. So if you want more info on this guy, I'll link both of their videos down below.
Because I believed him. I believe everything he says.
He just said it.
So he told Joshua to go to hell.
And this dude that reacted, that you need to go to hell, dude.
Why did he tell Joshua he needs to go to hell? Well, it's because he doesn't like Tmossboss. And he also talked about the whole suicidal girl situation.
It's stupid how y'all say that Tmossboss ignored the suicidal girl, but he really didn't.
But as much flack as Tmossboss gets for the suicidal girl situation, this guy got more hate for talking about it than anything Tmossboss has ever done.
Whoever you are, woman, you should really kill yourself.
Wow, and just like that, I think this guy is worse than Tyler, which is Tmossboss's real name. And no, I'm not doxing him for saying that. He has released his full name multiple times. Now, telling a suicidal person that they should really kill themselves is just about the worst thing you can say to them. And the second worst thing you can say to them is, well, this.
Because it's better life without you.
Now, a lot of you are really angry right now, and you want to go to this guy's video and leave angry comments and dislike it. Well, guess what? According to him, he doesn't care about the dislikes.
I could put up a video about anything, and people go still watch him, dislike him. I don't care if you dislike my videos. I don't care. Like Tmossboss said.
But despite everything he said, he left YouTube after the 2 responses. You know, despite everything Tmossboss has done in several different videos, this guy has proven himself to be worse than Tmossboss in one video.
Y'all need to leave Tmossboss alone and the suicidal girl.
But here's the thing, Tmossboss actually commented on this guy's video, and what did he say? Great video! Wow. So despite this guy making one of the worst videos I've ever seen in my life, because he defended Tmossboss, Tmossboss just says, great video. Now, he does go on to say don't wish death upon someone and other stuff like that. But if I saw one of my fans make a video like this, I would not say great video. I would be pissed. If anything, them being a fan of mine would make things worse. But to someone like Tmossboss, it makes them borderline perfect. Now let's talk about Tmossboss Fan. After watching some of this guy's content, it's clear to me that this guy is a troll. Especially with the way he responds to people who comment on his stuff. But one thing he did really ticked me off. Even if he is trolling, there's a point where it goes too far. He showed this comment I quote-unquote made.
You sit on a throne of lies.
Now let's go through all the reasons why this comment is so suspicious. 1, why would I talk about something like this in a public place? 2, there's no context for the comment. What video is it under? Who am I talking to? But the most suspicious thing of all is, the date and time for when the comment was posted is blanked out. It seems to me that someone posted this comment, either with a fake Just a Robot account or using Photoshop to make it look like me, but because they knew they would get called out because the comment said it was posted a few seconds or a few minutes ago, they had to block out the time. And even then, I've said multiple times I don't want to take Tmossboss's channel down. He's a great lol cow for the whole world to laugh at. And how long do I have to even wait to blame something on Tmossboss? 5 seconds? And you guys know how bad I am at spelling, grammar, and punctuation. I almost never put commas in my comments. Now, I've seen this fake comment of mine before, and from what I understand, one of Tmossboss's legit fans made this for him. Man, Tmossboss and his fan base have no shame whatsoever. They will stoop to any level. Now, I want to say one more thing about Tmossboss. Despite him constantly saying I sent my fans to attack him, even though I've never done anything like that, Tmossboss has actually tried to send his own fans to attack iBully bullies who used to be known as mainstream media commentaries.
I feel like that somebody like him needs to just know when to leave a person alone. So I want you guys to have a field day on his channel. Like, just give him the same treatment I'm giving, or that I'm getting. Dislikes, crazy comments, all that stuff.
That's low, Tyler. I never sent anyone to your channel.
Wow, out of all my years on YouTube, I have never seen another YouTuber tell his fans to attack someone else. And I'm pretty sure that's against YouTube's terms of service. But now, I'm going to explain why I did one more video on Tmossboss, and why this is the last one. Maybe. The reason why I did one more video on Tmossboss is because in my first video on him, I had 700 subs and he had 7,000 subs. He had 10 times the amount of subscribers I did. And now, at long last, I have 10 times the subscribers he does. And he's still not even twice as big from when I first talked about him. As for the reason why this is going to be the last video on Tmossboss, well, it's because there's nothing else I can talk about. I've said everything I wanted to say on him. I've even repeated a couple of the points I've made about him a few times. I want to move on and talk about other lol cows. But the reason why I said maybe after I said this was the last video I was going to make on him is because I've seen a lot of people say they were done with Tmossboss, but then he does something just incredibly stupid. And they just have to talk about him again. I'm going to try my best not to talk about Tmossboss, but I'm not saying there's absolutely no chance I'll do another video on him, especially if the situation with him really blows up. And I mean like Leafy is here levels. Speaking of blowing up, I have a question for you, Tmossboss. You keep talking about how you're going to blow up on YouTube any day now. So my question is, when do you think that's going to happen? In the next 5 years? In the next 10 years?
How about now? See that? He blew up! He blew up!
Sorry, Jar. Continue on.
I've been talking about you for over 3 years now, and you haven't even doubled your sub count. Face it, unless you make some major changes, it ain't ever gonna happen. To everybody watching this video, if there's one thing I want you to take away from my video series on Tmossboss, it's that this is a cautionary tale about how not to act on YouTube.
Speech in front of the bath teacher.